Right, guys. Week 3 is concluded, and oh boy, there was a couple of humdinging results, as well as even a couple of important casualties. We'll start with arguably the most emphatic result, which was the Undead Failures versus the Warpstone Lovers. Fairly standard fixture. But it seems the rats actually learn how to play the ball. The Undead Failures were dramatically unlucky against the rats, losing 6-1 on casualties and 7-0 on touchdowns. It was a freak result that, I'll be honest, in all of my times overseeing Blood Bowl games, participating in Blood Bowl games, I don't think I have seen a result that one-sided. The Undead Failures, while have been a solid team, got absolutely ruined. Nuffle did not give a shit. It would definitely seem that the Warpstone Lovers are Nuffle's side bitch, and it's paying dividends. But not to be entirely outdone, not quite as emphatic, but the Hairy Fairies versus the Roaring Rovers was the second fixture. 2-0 on casualties to the Roaring Rovers. The Roaring Rovers also got their second crowd surf kill. They have some aggressive fans, but the zombie that resulted was let to go wander back to the Hairy Fairies as some undead reminder of not to mess with the necromantics. But Best Boy went and scored himself 5 touchdowns for a 5-0 win over the Hairy Fairies. Every time the Hairy Fairies picked the ball up, they were already swarmed with superior speed and God knows what else. The Emperor's Eagles versus the Mad Cows, though. Third fixture. Another interesting one. It ended 1-0 to the Emperor's Eagles and 2-1 on casualty to the Mad Cows. But the Mad Cows got a little greedy towards the end and should have equalised. Turn 16, ball in their hands. Guy micrometers from the touchline, but prioritised a blocker throwing a punch, and Nuffle decided that was just a little too much and threw a double skull. Down he went. Turnover. 1-0 to the Humies. Considering as well this was a debut game for their new ogre, name to be confirmed. Sources have said that there is a number of names floating around, including Keith, Stephen, and possibly Derek. We will find out and I will report to you as soon as I can when I know. Final game, and a very drab affair on the score sheet, 1-1. Casualties was 4-2 to Mother's Love. The Daves held firm, kept a few points, 3 from the draw, but lost the Minotaur. The Minotaur of the Daves, Batista, is dead. D-E-A-D, dead. We had a dramatic upset there, as a Minotaur is no mean feat to replace. And sources have said, and I'll repeat this, they're not replacing Minotaur for Minotaur. Actually, from what I've been hearing in my little ear, they're replacing Batista with a troll. Name to be continued, and I will update you all as we go. The other important thing before we look at the league table and we look at stats of scores, passes and casualties, there has been a coalition of 3 teams. Notably, the Mad Cows, Mother's Love and the Warpstone Lovers have all pitched together and actually have placed a bounty on Best Boy from the Roaring Rovers. Given two teams have already played this guy and the Warpstone Lovers are yet to, it seems like the Warpstone Lovers are manipulating the other teams into their favour, considering they're fighting top of the table against the Roaring Rovers. The bounty stands on Best Boy for a forced retirement or kill. 30 grand from the Warpstone Lovers, 30 grand from Mother's Love, and from the coach personally of the Mad Cows, a 6-inch garlic cheese pizza. And you heard that right. The reason why they are so concerned is because Best Boy is single-handedly carrying the Roaring Rovers and has gained himself 4 level ups. It's limited to and not included a number of interesting skills such as dodge, leap, sure hands, and sure feet. Sources have said that he's going for sprint next and going to make this boy a beast on the field. But let's have a look at how the league table now looks. Top of the table, we've got the Warpstone Lovers on touchdown difference only. 18 points, 3 wins in 3 games. Followed closely by the Roaring Rovers, 3 wins in 3. Both behind on touchdown difference and casualties, but solid results and expected to not score as many. But considering they have still scored 9 touchdowns in 3 games, that's 3 a game on average. For a typically slow team, that is extremely impressive. The 4 a game for the Warpstone Lovers is expected, but their casualties are not. At 3.8 something, I'm not going to do the math. I'm here to tell you the results. In third place, we've got Lewis with the Emperor's Eagles with 2 wins and a loss. Solid, uncontested third place. And in uncontested fourth place, we have Sam with Mother's Love. Rookie coach, both the Emperor's Eagles and Mother's Love, and are doing both extremely fantastic. They should be really proud of themselves, actually, so far. Mother's Love coming in with 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. Followed by the Mad Cows with 1 win, 2 losses. Having a fight with the Undead Failures. But the only reason I would personally say that the Undead Failures are lower at the moment is because of that freak 7-0 and the fact that the Mad Cows are yet to play the Warpstone Lovers, so are yet to face a team with high scoring capability. Despite playing the Roaring Rovers, who have scored decent, there is far more to come. The Daves at the penultimate position of 7th with 1 draw, which was today, and 2 losses, but they've arguably faced very strong teams. And at the bottom of the table, but there is some light for the Hairy Fairies, despite losing a player to the crowd, lost the first 3 matches, conceding 10 touchdowns and none in 4. They have actually picked themselves up a potential coup. There is a coach from a faraway league that has come to personally coach Tom and the Hairy Fairies, and at the end of the season looking to join the league himself, so he's going to get some practice and some scouting in while he's here. We're going to have a guy called Lee joining. He's going to coach Tom, help him out as he's another rookie coach, same as Adam and Sam and Lewis. Bring him up to scratch, hopefully pick him up some points in the second half of the season, and it should be pretty interesting. Hopefully it works out. Moving on now to the top scorers table. As you can see, top in the table is Best Boy on 9 touchdowns, scoring all for the Roaring Rovers. Neeg Sons on 8. Slow Coach on 4, so Undead Failures are not scared of the touchdown line and doing extremely well. Then we have Seis Creep with 4 for the Warpstone Lovers. Then Mother's Love, Hermes, Emperor's Eagles, Swimwear, and you can see the rest. Moving on to the passers. Saza Bowl with 4. Long Bomber on the Emperor's Eagles with 2. And both Werewolves on the Roaring Rovers getting 1 apiece. Sirloin and Tenderloin on the Mad Cows. And Trip Hazard on the Undead Failures. Not a passing league by any means, but still impressive. Casualties is where it gets interesting because there are a large number of casualty causes, and I will scroll to show. But let's focus on just the ones that have got more than one. So, on 3, we have Bob and Cerberus from Mother's Love. These boys don't score often, but by God they hurt, averaging a good number of casualties a game and expected. The Warpstone Lovers with Tile Scuttle as well. Then on 2, we've got Blaine from the Daves, Brisket from the Mad Cows, Hades from Mother's Love, Pharaoh from the Undead Failures, Razkree from the Warpstone Lovers, and Shank from the Mad Cows. And we bring our total of casualty causes to 31 for the season, with a lot of casualties from a lot of teams. I will let you guys pause at any point and take a look yourself, but you guys are here for the round 4 fixtures, aren't you? I know you are, but it's fine. So, before that, I will remind people that if they want to sponsor the league and have your sponsor there, or you want your own league read out, hit me up. We'll talk. It's not much gold, just a few thousand here and there, but you know. The fixtures are as follows. The Roaring Rovers, top of the table, against the Undead Failures. The Mad Cows against the Warpstone Lovers, other top of the table team. The Daves and the Hairy Fairies. This is a bottom of the table affair and arguably could be critical for who gets that wooden spoon trophy at the end of the season. Final fixture, and actually I think this is probably going to be, I think, the most interesting one results-wise. 2 rookie coaches. Both rookie coaches that are doing fantastically well. I would argue an evenly matched coaching side here. The Mother's Love against the Emperor's Eagles. Sam and Lewis, this is you two. I expect the Emperor's Eagles to get pushed and punched and kicked hard. The Ogre's going to help hold the line better, but I do expect a victory for the Emperor's Eagles on touchdowns, which is the important stat here. But I do expect a couple of humans probably not to walk off that pitch. The other interesting affair in terms of equalness is Adam and the Undead Failures is an unsung team. I would argue, despite results, performance is there. There is hope. And the same with Liam and the Daves. Going to be interesting to see how they get on and if they can get themselves higher up in the table. But for now, that is the results of week 3. The fixtures of round 4. The table's starting to take shape now. It's definitely going to be a 2-horse race, it seems, at the top between the Hairy Fairy. No, the Hairy Fairies are bottom, but we can wish. The Warpstone Lovers and the Roaring Rovers at the top of the table. The race to the bottom of the table seems to be between the Daves and the Hairy Fairies, but the Hairy Fairies have a new coach. And will that make any difference? Will we start to see a resurgence and maybe even a climb to the best of the rest up as 3rd and 4th place? It's still attainable and it's all to play for. I will see you guys in 2 weeks as these fixtures are due to be played on the 22nd of February. I will report as soon as all fixtures are resulted and marked. Good night.